Hello guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy.
Hi.
We're at the Hatfield McCoy Museum.
As you can see.
We were down here just piddling around on some stuff. And we've got every book that's probably ever been printed on the Hatfields and McCoys. I went and got that one out of our display case. And that is the book written by Ron McCoy. And Ron, I'm going to start nicknaming him. I'm going to be like, he wants to refer to Donald Trump in one of his newspaper stories. I'm going to refer to him like Donald Trump would. This is Ron Selkirk McCoy's book. Let's just nickname him Selkirk since he stabbed Randall about as bad as somebody could stab him. But that's Ron McCoy's book that he wrote after he filed the lawsuit against John Vance. And I hadn't read it in a while, and I was skimming through it, and I seen where he said he didn't know he was even related till he was 35, and within 2 years of learning that he was even related, he was in a court battle. He'd already filed suit. Come back to Pike County 2 years, within 2 years of finding out he was related, he comes back there and files a suit against John Vance wanting his property. I'm reading over through here, and I was going to and in fact, we're going to show it here in a minute, but something really caught my eye because all this time I've been asking for Rio Hatfield, which it would still make sense to do the DNA, but Rio goes around like he's big kin to Devil Anse Hatfield. Rio's line is not up Devil Anse Hatfield's line, according to Ron McCoy. All I've got to go by is this book. Ron McCoy says that, and we'll take a picture of it in a minute. Ron McCoy says that Rio Hatfield was a businessman living in Waynesboro, Virginia. He was the great-great-grandson of Bad Elias Hatfield. Bad Elias. Bad Elias is my great-great-uncle. Bad Elias Hatfield was the son of George Hatfield. Of course, he was from Eve of all, but not Big Eve, not from Devil Anse's side. They were cousins, but all this time, Rio's made the impression that he was related to Devil Anse Hatfield. Nothing more than a cousin, not a great-grandson, not a descendant from Devil Anse's side. He's actually a descendant from George Hatfield. He comes from the same line that my Hatfield ancestry is. Bad Elias was my great-great-uncle. He was the brother to Preacher Ance, and Preacher Ance was my great-great-grandfather. Wow. News to me. Yeah. I'm going to let her show you this little bit right there now. Close in where they can read it. We're on a cell phone, so she can't post it at the back of the video, so she'll...
Okay, I'll try. Okay.
She'll have to do it like that. Now, hold it on that for a little bit.
Okay.
So they can read that in a minute. And, all right, they can stop it there.
They can stop it, yeah.
Ron McCoy says that Rio was raised in Mingo County, West Virginia. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. Rio Hatfield was actually raised in Huntington, West Virginia, or up toward Huntington. He wasn't raised in Mingo County. Rio was the grandson of famed Mate 1 Chief of Police Allen Hatfield. I'll show you a picture of Allen Hatfield here in his older years. That's him in his older years. Not long after that, he passed away. But that's Allen Hatfield. That's Allen Hatfield that took his gun right here and shot that man right there, a World War II veteran and hero, in the back of his head and killed him dead. Somewhere around here, and we've done a story before, but somewhere around here is the, right here, Sheila, show this. I'm probably getting off the story, but I want people to understand. Gunshot, base of brain. February the 17th, 1947. Hubert B. McCoy, World War II veteran. Let me finish with Ron's book here. Ron says that Rio was the grandson of famed, there you go, just show that. Make one Chief of Police, Alan Hatfield. Chief Hatfield had been involved in an infamous occurrence in 1947, decades after the last gunshot was fired in the feud, when Chief Hatfield and another officer raided a Brody house. An angry patron grabbed the officer and shot Hatfield twice in the back. My grandfather turned and shot him dead, says Rio. The man who fired the shots was named McCoy. Now, I want to show you, what was you on? Here, yeah, show this. Here's the guilty. There's where the jury found Alan Hatfield guilty of voluntary manslaughter. Come over here, Sheila. Just stand right here. We've shown it before, but look at all the newspaper articles.
There's a bunch, guys.
Show this one right
Not
here.
everybody can be wrong.
Hatfield convicted of slaying McCoy. And that's your newspaper articles. And Police Chief Hatfield in jail after shooting in which a McCoy died. And once again, all these that you see in the background, and that's why sometimes I get so excited or passionate, she calls it. That's why. Because just like William Key standing there holding his Bible, Rio Hatfield has always stood there with that hand out and that suit, and good looking businessman, and people see that, and looks are deceiving sometimes. And Rio is deceiving because he has murder indictment, feud for perpetrates feud of Hatfield's McCoys. Hatfield kills a McCoy and echoes a feud heard. I mean, it just goes on again. Once again, McCoy is killed by Hatfield. This is the story that they have told since who knows when. I know Rio has told it since 2011. That's the first time that he told Granta magazine over here, author Dean King. I don't have my glasses, but right here it is. This is author Dean King that interviewed Rio, and Rio told him in 2011 about his grandfather being the police chief and being shot in the back 3 times. Here it says twice. There's other stories where he said 3 times. There's one story as many as 5 between him and Darrell Fetty. And that's the stories that people have been hearing for years, and that's why I get so excited. And here's what it was all about. Ron McCoy filed a suit against John Vance, and he made national news from suing a Hatfield. Hatfields and McCoys are back in court. It was John Vance, and it was all over that book. Ron made him a book, and it's hard to tell how many he sold over the years. Yeah. And there he is. And it's a sad, I'm not going to, we've got videos on top of videos on this. Here's what they did to his tombstone. Here's Hubert May's first tombstone after Alan Hatfield was convicted. There's his first tombstone that we now have in the museum.
Virginia let us have it.
Yeah.
His daughter.
And here's the second one. Now, this is the one that's up there now. They got him another one from the veterans. But, you know, the first one was either shot with a shotgun, a sledgehammer, something busted it all up. We found most of it except one We're missing one piece and the base.
Yeah.
But, all right, we're not going to drag this out. This is just going to be a one off of her cell phone, so it's probably not going to be, that woman she's showing right here, that is his daughter.
That's Virginia.
That's Hubert Bates' daughter, which is right here.
And that's his grandson.
And his grandson. Here's Virginia.
That baby.
That's Catherine. Catherine was his bride he brought from Europe. And that little girl right there is this fantastic lady.
She is wonderful. Y'all.
Right there. She's grown up now. She's probably don't want me to tell her age, so I won't.
No,
but she's
we don't want that.
That's been a lot of years ago. But this is her when her and her mother first came over from Europe. And sad story. And people don't understand sometimes why I get so aggravated or like Sheila says, it's so passionate when I go over these stories. But as a 40-year career police officer, and you hear these people stand there, well-dressed, well-groomed, well-to-do, and they make up these stories, and all these people out there either knowing or unknowing. The sad thing is, I hate to admit it, but most of them know the story. They know the history behind Alan Hatfield. But they just sit there and clap when Rio or somebody gives a speech, and it's all for photos. It's all for newspapers and TV. And it's you know, there's a victim here. There's several victims here. And these people's making a name on. Alan Hatfield was the police chief for 2 years in Mate 1. He tells on a radio interview that he was the police chief for 5 years. No, he was the police chief for 2 years, and during those 2 years, 46 and 47, he shot and killed 2 men. Killed 2 men. He wanted to have this reputation as Devil Anse and Sid Hatfield. He was working toward that. He wanted to be this big Hatfield with this big bad name in Mate 1. And he didn't. He was sentenced to 5 years hard labor. But since then, at least since 2011, when Rio started with that story, it went national. It went over the wire. Rio's story did, and it was in the Washington Post. It's everywhere. And Rio says, yeah, that was in the Washington Post. It was in the Washington Post because they picked it up off the AP wire, and it come from Rio's original story with Dean King in Granta magazine. Very sad story. Guys, I just happened to go get that book, and we were sitting down here, and I just went to review a little bit. And there's so much more in here, but Ron McCoy is, I'm very, very disappointed. I'm hoping he takes the DNA, and I'm hoping the DNA comes back that he's not a McCoy, because I find it hard to believe, but I found what Selkirk done hard to believe, but he did it. But this man is definitely, thanks for joining us, and go ahead, Sheila.
Please like and subscribe. Bye.